Why does it feel like everyone around you is bigger, stronger, and leaner than you'll ever be? Why does your progress never measure up to what you see online? This isn't in your head. We are living in an era of physique inflation, a distorted reality where the average body is no longer enough, where what used to be considered superhuman is now treated as the baseline. But here's the twist. Fake naturals, steroids, and filters aren't the root cause of this crisis. The real issue goes much deeper. To understand how we got here, let's rewind the clock. Back to the 1970s and 80s, an era when a muscular physique wasn't something you'd see every day, but something you'd stare at in awe. It all really begins with 1977's documentary Pumping Iron. A young Arnold Schwarzenegger walks onto the screen and suddenly the world sees a body that doesn't look human. It looks sculpted out of marble. Back then, physiques like Arnold's were treated like a circus act, something extreme, something outside of the norm. The average man, nowhere close. And here's the thing, nobody expected to look like him. Nobody felt like a failure because they didn't have his biceps. It was entertainment. Look at the action heroes of the time. Clint Eastwood, Sean Connery, Roger Moore. Even the men cast as James Bond were fit, sure, but they weren't freakishly muscular. They looked like regular guys who stayed active, not like they lived in the gym. Compare that to today. If an actor walked onto the screen with their build from the 70s, he'd be laughed at. Because now, the baseline is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson or Chris Hemsworth's Thor physique. And that shift didn't happen overnight. The 80s action hero boom. By the mid-80s, everything changed. Suddenly, Hollywood was dominated by Sylvester Stallone, Arnold, Jean-Claude Van Damme, and Chuck Norris. These weren't men in good shape. These were living action figures. And unlike Arnold's bodybuilding stage, these guys were in blockbuster movies. On every poster, every VHS tape, every TV screen. Muscularity had gone mainstream. The social media shift. Fast forward a few decades, and something happened that flipped the script completely. Social media, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Now, instead of seeing one or two jacked guys on the big screen, you see hundreds every single day. Perfect lighting, perfect pump, perfect angles. And here's the catch. Social media doesn't show you reality. It shows you what keeps your attention. Algorithms figured out one thing very quickly. People stop scrolling when they see six-pack abs, huge arms, or a perfectly built physique. So now, every time you open your phone, you're bombarded. Shredded influencers flexing, actors transformed for roles, fitness models selling programs. Add in trends like pump covers, summer cuts, and looks maxing, and suddenly there's no escape. Physique inflation is everywhere, and the baseline for normal has been permanently warped. Women's side of the crisis, and it's not just men. Women are living through the exact same crisis, just on a different battlefield. Female fitness influencers flood feeds with booty workouts filmed in scrunch leggings. Most of them are ineffective routines designed more for views than results. Then comes OnlyFans, turning appearance into currency and teaching younger women that their body is their greatest business model. Even the body positivity movement, which started as love yourself, has twisted into fat positivity, pushing the idea that fitness is optional and health doesn't matter. But here's the brutal truth. Men fuel this market. The clicks, the subscriptions, the engagement, it's driven by demand. And here's where the imbalance hits. Women at least have conversations about body image. They have movements, campaigns, social awareness. Men, almost nothing. No mainstream discussion about body dysmorphia, no real community support, just comparison. Fake naturals, PEDs, and the subreddit obsession. Now, let's talk about one of the most toxic symptoms of physique inflation, natty or not culture. Whole communities now exist to dissect physiques, subreddits, YouTube comment sections, endless debates about cycles, TRT, HGH. If you look impressive, people scream steroids. If you don't, people dismiss you. It's a lose-lose game. And ironically, most guys on PEDs don't even look better than top-tier naturals. But the obsession isn't about truth. It's about insecurity. Even the best aren't immune. Arnold himself admitted that he would look in the mirror and feel disgusted with his body.
I never really was satisfied with my body. I looked in the mirror and I said to myself, I don't know how this shit body can ever win. When I brag about myself,
Chris Bumstead, reigning Mr. Olympia, talks openly about feeling small.
Every single morning I woke up and I was so discouraged with how I looked. Like literally like losing weight.
And influencers like Liver King, they prey on this insecurity, selling fake lifestyles, supplements, and promises built on lies. This is the modern marketplace of masculinity, and it's rotting from the inside out. The core problem, comparison. But let me give it to you straight. The real villain here isn't steroids. It isn't fake naturals. It isn't influencers. It's comparison. The moment you start measuring your body against someone else's, you've already lost. Because here's the reality check. What you see online is a highlight reel. Perfect lighting, angles, genetics, Photoshop. Go to your local gym. Look around. Almost nobody looks like the physiques you see online. Go to a public beach. Same story. Average bodies, average physiques. But your brain is poisoned. When you do see someone fit, instead of admiring them, you feel inferior, insecure, like you're behind. Comparison is the thief of joy, and physique inflation is comparison on steroids. The psychology of stagnation. Here's another factor people don't talk about: time. If you've trained properly for 5+ years, you're already close to your natural limit. After that, progress slows down to almost nothing, maybe a kilo of muscle per year. And that creates a mental war, because visually you barely change. You feel stuck. That's why even Olympia-level bodybuilders still feel small. That's why Arnold said he never felt satisfied.
I look in the mirror at 240 pounds at 5'9", and I see a stick. That's all I see.
That's why lifters with education and success, like Mike Israetel, still admit to insecurities. And it's not about size, it's about psychology. And the more you chase progress in the mirror, the more the mirror pushes back. So how do you fight back? 1. Control your screen time. Stop scrolling through endless physiques, or at least change your feed. Follow creators who teach, not just flex. 2nd, shift your focus to performance. Run faster, lift heavier, climb mountains, play sports, build endurance. When you measure performance, you always have a new goal to chase. 3, realize that looks are a byproduct, not the goal. If you eat well, train hard, and stay consistent, your physique will reflect that. But obsessing over the mirror only guarantees disappointment. Hybrid training, strength, conditioning, skill, can completely change how you see your body. Suddenly, you're proud of what it can do, not just how it looks. Final message: physique inflation didn't happen overnight. It's been building for 50 years through Hollywood, bodybuilding, social media, and now AI-edited physiques. But the real crisis isn't steroids or fake natties, it's comparison. If you want to escape it, you need to shift your focus, your body, your journey, your life. Stop living inside someone else's highlight reel. So what do you think? Has physique inflation ruined fitness? Or is it just another phase of human obsession? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's talk about it. Because in the end, the only physique you need to measure is your own.